Hello, LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitter. So today, first, who am I? I'm Stephen Fry. I'm the founder of Steve Talks, a small rivalry to TED Talks that basically talks from me and others in the future around different topics, including leadership styles, mental health, emotional intelligence, any talks that we can celebrate, identify people that want to make a difference, a positive difference in this world. My credentials, I am a former teacher. I've been researching emotional intelligence for the last 3 to 5 years per se, and I've come up with some really good theories through lived experience and my research. And yes, I am an expert in, or growing expert in emotional intelligence, and I'm also training to become a counsellor. So that's my credentials. And today's theme is going to be around resilience, which gets talked heavily on social media, and there are so many different aspects around it. But I'm going to offer you something different today, and I'm going to talk about something called kind resilience, which is based on my lived experience and some of my research. So I'll talk about, give you a definition of what resilience is. I'll then move over to my definition of what kind resilience is, and then I'll give you the 3 steps that I've designed to give to you how you engage in kind resilience. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. So, what is resilience? So I'm going to refer to my notes because I want to make sure that I cover everything. Okay. Resilience is your ability to build and maintain a momentum to safeguard yourself towards more learning and reflection. Learning and reflection is so important when we talk about resilience. It's not about the Rocky Balboa, get in the ring, how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you get up and keep going. That really is not resilience in the real world. So it's important that you take the right definition that works for you, and this is the one I'm giving you today. So, what is kind resilience? Let me read out my definition, and I'll talk to you in a moment about those 3 steps. Kind resilience is the process of learning to be kinder towards your ability to overcome stress and anxiety in your life. So it's your ability to overcome something, and it's a process of learning, because learning is how we progress in life. Learning is about how we understand our feelings. Learning is about how we understand our thoughts, feelings and behaviours, which is the wider emotional intelligence spectrum. So I'm going to try to keep it fairly simple. I don't want to overthrow you with loads of key words, but that's just where my research is at the moment. The idea of learning and self-reflection is very important for our mental health, because more often than not, as we experience stress and anxiety, we go through a state sometimes in life through panic attacks, depression, which is a low state of mood over short and long periods of time. Now, we're not naturally trained to deal with stress and anxiety. However, that's the reason why we go to counselling. So we're not really in a culture where we prevent our own decline in mental health. Something happens and then we go and see the GP or a counsellor or a psychologist. Under my research and the information I'm giving you today, I'm trying to help you to improve your own mental well-being and use kind resilience to understand more about your emotions from one day to the next. Using the 3 steps that I give you in a moment, you should be able to start understanding more about your feelings and where they're coming from. And this is something that's very important that gets taught in counselling, and it's something that they engage in, which is called self-actualization or self-realization, as I've called it. So the first step that's really important is you need to acknowledge, okay, these are the 3 steps in order for you to engage in kind resilience. Remember, kind resilience is a moment where you overcome your stress and anxiety. You're learning, okay? and that can happen in a moment. So, in order for you to understand what's happened in your brain as the stress happens, you need to stop, acknowledge that you're stressed at that time. Okay, so immediately stop what you're doing. All right, that's really important. I often say to people, we must sit down in the chair when we want to take a break and switch off from the outside world and concentrate in that one room, which is why mindfulness works so particularly well, and we know that from research and data. Now, once you get yourself, which is the first step, so you need to uh, acknowledge that you're stressed and immediately stop what you're doing. Okay, stop what you're doing, sit down, yeah. Which is the second step, which is find somewhere to relax. You need to find somewhere to relax to put things into perspective, which is one of the most important key words we can ever learn in terms of improving our mental well-being. And the final step really is accept your emotions and where they come from. So this all happens in the space between 5 and 15 minutes when you sit down in the chair. So you stop what you're doing, number one. You find somewhere to relax, which hopefully will be sitting down somewhere quiet. You might always get to that level. Could be in a park, ideally, but if you're in a busy office, a corridor, anywhere really. And accept your emotions and where they come from. That takes time. That can be from 15 minutes to 2 hours to a couple of days, because what we tend to do as humans is we overthink things, which is really good for us in actual fact, because our brains will go back to either the fight or flight response, and through reflection and learning more about our emotions, so you get a bad experience, for example, you're stressed and you don't know how to cope, you pick up the phone, you ring someone and they help you, and then you reflect on that and you think, they really helped me, I've learned something new. So that's self-realization. You're learning more about your brain and your thoughts and your stress points. So the idea of sitting down in a chair and reflecting and slowing things down is that we put things into perspective more so, because we're trying to shut off the brain in some respect to all the stress points that are happening in a busy environment. Maybe you're a mum, maybe like a parent who's got lots of responsibilities, or you're an entrepreneur, you've got lots of things going on. So it's really, really important that you understand that, okay, I've really got to focus on this particular moment, because looking and listening to Steve, which I am here, that this system really works. And for someone like me that suffered epilepsy for 8 years, it's probably the best tool that I've ever used. I taught it to myself because my particular stress and anxiety comes from many different things that can be triggered off in the brain through conscious and unconscious thinking, suppressed memories. So my childhood was really bad, and more often than not in men, the memories come back, effectively they come back to kind of haunt us, which happens in females as well, but particularly so in males that have had a bad childhood. Now they can either come out in panic attacks, you can develop PTSD, you don't need to be, no disrespect to soldiers in operations, but PTSD can happen to anybody. If you've experienced trauma, how you define it as something bad in your life, you might go through the symptoms of PTSD. Myself, in my condition, NEED, which stands for non-epileptic attack disorder, is a rare type of epilepsy, and it's very, very difficult to treat. So I'm an active patient of someone that suffers mental health, severe problems long term, and it's only my real own research, these steps and other talks that I'm going to give to you in the future that saved my life. It was only 2 years ago that I come quite close to ending my life, and thankfully my research saved me, because it allowed me to experiment with my self-awareness, learn more about where my thoughts come from, rationalize them, because I was sitting down more, reflecting. Walking absolutely helps, so you can carry these steps out by going for a walk. Sometimes that's better because we need to get out of the situation. especially for example, if you're in a domestic abuse relationship or domestic violence, which is a bit more complex, but the steps here will still work if you can take yourself out for a moment. And even if you're a perpetrator, even if you've got a temper and you want to learn how to master your thoughts, it takes a lot of hard work. I've done it myself. I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been a victim of many types of different violence, and I've also, I wasn't the best of husband those years ago. My marriage ended, but I worked hard to go through counselling, and my research helped me to find my new me. Because sadly my dad was quite violent to me as a young person, and we inherently pick up our behaviours from our parents. That's evident in research, and it happens. It's what you call some of it's attachment theory, some of it's just stuff that we pick up. But my point is this, these 3 steps are really a guide. Experiment with them, because sometimes we can watch a video like this and our brain will pick up the points that we need to or we want to listen to. Not everybody's going to watch the full 12 or 13 minutes of this video, and that's fine, but as long as you try to take something positive from it, that's the purpose of me doing this video, because I'm giving you what I call lived experience conversation, so that you can say, right, okay, this system seems pretty good. Can I try it? Can I try those steps? So you need to remember, stop what you're doing, find somewhere to relax, and learn to reflect on your thoughts, which is accept your emotions. It takes a while to get to step 3, because it's not really a step per se. It's more of a learning experience. Hence, you learn more when you reflect. So sometimes you have to go through something that's bad, and then on the other side, when we jump over that fence and we reflect back, then that's when the learning happens. Then we know where our emotions come from. If you can work out, anytime you're stressed in your life, if you work out where your emotions are coming from, and you do that in a conscious way, in a nice environment, calm, easy, even if you're busy, sometimes it can work. Your brain, you will feel less stressed. Your anxiety will drop. Okay, I'm a living case of that. There's somebody with a severe long-term mental health condition, which is incredibly difficult to treat, that this really does work. And yes, we're all different in our memories because we all have different lives, but it's all about slowing the brain down. That's what we want to do. Slow our thoughts down, rationalise them. And you'll hear those words a lot when you go to professional counselling. So I'll try and close off and summarise the idea of the old style resilience is more of the growth mindset and lots of things we build up. The problem with the old school resilience system is that it puts too much pressure on us. Kind resilience is the idea that you're learning and reflecting upon your emotions and your thoughts over time, and that particular time can be action in those 3 steps. So you stop and you think again. Okay, so stop what you're doing, acknowledge your thoughts and reflect on your thoughts. And that's it really that I've got for you today. I hope you find it useful, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that does watch this and uses the system. I think it will help a lot of people with their mental health. It needs more of a light, I think, with CEOs. They need to put more programs in, because if they do and they use the system themselves, like the 3 steps, then the organisational culture will be more efficient. They'll be able to increase profits and just create more competitive advantages, and it'll just be a fruitful, enjoyable place to work in. So anyway, I'll end it there. I need it up to my 15 minutes, which is my maximum limit. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it today. Follow me, connect with me here on LinkedIn, Twitter and YouTube, and I'm sure that I can help you with something that's going on in your life today. Thank you so much. Bye for now.